Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just generic. And yeah, I'll go through your emails later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, take all my leads. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. You know.
Well, let's get started. How do you want to start this here? Where like just like, hey, how's it going, or whatever.
I mean, I'm even okay with saying, hey, look, we shot the breeze for 15 minutes before we even started this.
Yeah, that's true.
Because neither one of us ever likes to talk.
Yeah, of course. maybe what we do is we just start. I'll start my video where I'll just time lapse the first 15 minutes of the call here, and then let's get into it.
People are like, oh, he's talking normally.
Yeah.
Well, and then to me, why don't we start with a question? And my thought is like, if I'm going to toss out the question, I'll let you answer it, and then I'll probably follow up with my answer. And we're going to do both questions, the one that's going to end up in both videos. We'll do a couple of yours, a couple of mine, then we'll do the one we'll finish up with the one that's going to end up in the last one I thought was going to be interesting. So I think people want to stay tuned for that one at least.
For sure. Well, let's get started.
Yeah. So differences between, like, I mean, when you guys have dump trucks up there,
yeah,
what's the typical like bed size for? I mean, what can you run with that?
So here's like what I do. Like, it's interesting because I cover a bigger territory spanning 2 provinces. So my territory is a chunk of Manitoba and a chunk of northwestern Ontario. So, and the laws basically change at the border. So in northwestern Ontario, I will build PACCAR engine, like 450 plus horsepower, 500 horsepower, 20,000 front, a 20,000 pound steerable lift axle, and a 46,000 pound tail end on anywhere from a 19 to a 21 foot box. The boxes are typically heated. There's a flapper valve that the bodybuilder will install in the exhaust to heat the box, and that's pretty common out in Ontario. Now in Manitoba, lift axles are illegal. We cannot have lift axles on our highway. They do not allow them here. So the thing in Ontario, it's build it big, build it heavy so it can handle a big load. In Manitoba, it's let's build our dump trucks as light as we can so that we can maximize the payload, right? So what we'll do is we'll build a 15 or a 16 foot box on a T370. And like I've said in my other videos, the T370 is kind of near and dear to my heart because that's where I got my start building. 15 years ago, I was a medium duty sales guy. So we are now offering the 16K front with the 385 wide tires and 40,000 pound rears with a 14 or 15 foot up to 16 foot box. And that kind of works. And they don't do heated boxes in Manitoba. Why? I don't know why, but it's just like an Ontario thing. But that's just kind of the 2 different dump boxes that I'll build. And actually, I sold a stock truck yesterday, a 15 foot gravel box going onto a stock T370 that I have, 350. PACCAR PX9, 3000 Allison, 6-speed automatic, Hendrickson air ride, and So, how about you? So what? Go ahead.
I was going to say, how much can you guys haul in each one of those trucks? So Ontario and Manitoba.
It really depends on. Like, I actually don't really get into that, and we'll probably just cut this out of the video, but. I don't really get into that because some guys are hauling gravel, some guys are hauling topsoil, some guys are hauling demolition. So how many yards can it haul? It depends on
What
what
weight
they're
can
hauling.
they run?
Oh, what weight? So what weight can they run?
Yeah.
Legally, so 16 on the steer is what they can do in Manitoba, and on the drives, you're allowed 37,500 pounds. So do the math; it's like 56,000 pounds or something like that,
Okay.
less the weight of the truck. So that's where building a medium duty at T370, where you can get the truck down to 13,000 pounds plus 5,000 roughly for the box. Your chassis weight is around 18. Your payload would be like 25 roughly, just talking without really
Okay.
doing the math. And then in Ontario, you can go 20, 20, and 46. So you can haul, like you can load it right up to the nuts.
It's interesting though that Manitoba can't run pushers.
Nope, you have to chain them up. Like you have to chain up the axle. Like they want to, like in Manitoba with that, they don't want you to be able to have the weight that if the pusher was down on the truck, and then have the option to lift it up and then overload the axles that are on there. Manitoba is just way behind the eight ball in that regard. Like they should have pushers, but whatever, we don't. So we're on gumbo here. Like it's just like this mash clay earth. So our roads heave and our roads get demolished every spring. Like this time of year, it's pothole city. Like it's crazy. So I think that's a big part of the reasoning for doing that. But they also don't build the roads like they do, say, in North Dakota, which is basically right beside us, where they have gumbo as well. But the concrete is probably like that thick, where we're putting like maybe that much, So,
Okay.
anyways, it's just how we build our roads. But so,
Yeah.
what about? I'm just curious for you. What are some of the industries that you would sell into, or like your dealer group? Like, what's your main sectors that you kind of go after?
So it became interesting for me when I took over the marketing for the 4 dealers instead of just the one, because when we were serving the Cleveland Akron area as Kenworth and Richfield, it was primarily over the road guys and dump trucks.
Yeah.
Those were just the 2 things that we served. I mean, and that was pretty much it. Um, Columbus, Canton, they have a tendency to serve a lot more of that oil and gas industry also. Now, it's not oil and gas like I'm assuming probably what it could be up by you or in the Dakotas or Texas or anything like that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of the like shale type stuff around here.
Okay.
There's a few big companies that have stuff around here that we serve a lot of those also. So it's kind of nice because it lets us have our hands if just general freight is down. We've got other areas that are typically doing a little bit better. So it's diverse, makes it so we've got to learn a lot.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. You can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Now, so I remember seeing the logging truck video that you did. So I know that's one, right?
So yeah, for us and for me specifically, kind of some of the markets that I go after, and where we're serving guys like in Northwestern Ontario, it's primarily logging, but in that area and in any town, there's essential services. There's sewer and water. There's government, there's lumber yards, there's bread delivery, like all that kind of stuff. So, but our main push definitely, like with Winnipeg being kind of in the center of Canada and basically at a major interstate, coming down Highway 75 into the U.S., like that is a major hub right straight through to Texas. So it's kind of in the center of North America. We're a huge transportation hub, like huge transportation hub. Trucks are going east to west and they're coming up from the south all the time. And they're kind of diverting across Canada from there. So that's a big part of our business. And the ag sector is huge as well. So like a lot of farming, and all the spin off from that, hauling grain, hauling potatoes, hauling, you name it. Like there's a huge McCain plant that supplies, and McCain Foods and Simplot, they supply French fries to McDonald's, and all sorts of different fast food chains. So we're primarily transportation, agriculture. Logging is more in Ontario, and then you kind of have to diversify into a lot of the specialty stuff. You know, that every city would have, you know, vac trucks and all that kind of stuff, you know.
Huh.
So,
It's interesting to see how there is that core.
yeah.
And I mean, it sounds similar like what we have. There's a core, but obviously it's still every single type of truck you can think of. If it goes down the road, we're going to have something to deal with it. So I know you've been around it, in it. I mean, kind of grew up in trucking of sorts. So
Yeah.
what is your favorite part of all this?
Well, definitely the people. You know, that's first and foremost. I'm a people person. I always have been. I've been kind of a social bug growing up. High school, same thing. But I just love meeting the people. You know, all and being on YouTube and on social media, broadening that like getting to meet you, like that's cool. Like we are, you know, 2 years kind of into us being on YouTube, and we're doing like we're friends, and like we've never met or shook hands or anything, but like we're buddies, you know. So I just love the people in the industry. It's very much a down to earth. Nobody's kind of up in the ivory tower, kind of looking down on the peasants. Like everybody's kind of equal. So it's kind of neat to be in that type of industry where people just work hard, and they're just honest. A lot of people, family people, and you know, it's just a great industry to be in. But yeah, how about you? What's your big take on the industry?
The people are obviously the biggest part of it, because it's unique. And I found too, before this, I actually worked in agriculture for a number of years. And the crossover between those two industries, first off, there's a lot of crossover in terms of a lot of people that are in agriculture and trucking also, because obviously food has to go someplace in order to get to us. But really what I found too is a lot of the people are very similar, and very much in like what you said. It's this down home-ish kind of attitude of get the job done, whatever it takes. The other thing that I like too is that there's always this tick ahead in innovation. There's this incremental growth in it that as we grow as a population, as everything like that, the industry grows, the people grow, and there's all sorts of people in it, but there's still that same commonality of just get it done.
Yeah, for sure.
Those things really kind of hold together for me in that. Yeah, that's
what I love too. Like we were talking about the cold here a few minutes ago. I remember as a kid, because my dad drove truck before. He had the very first T600 in Manitoba, and anyhow, so I remember going to the old truck shops as a kid, like a 5-6 year old kid, and just that smell of diesel on a cold, like diesel burning on a cold winter's day. Like, so it's funny when I'm driving into work sometimes, and I'm, you know, behind a truck, and it's at a stoplight, and you know, you're all taken off, and then you just get that whiff of that old smell. It just brings me back to my childhood. So I've been around it my whole life, you know. It's funny. Yeah.
I totally get that. And this is going to sound terrible, but it's going to sound pathetic, not terrible. But because I spent years in performance automotive industry too. And I mean, I grew up around performance cars and everything like that.
Okay.
I start up my lawnmower, and it's got that uncatalyzed, still raw fuel coming out of the tailpipe smell, like what you're talking about on my lawnmower. And I start that up, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's power. And then I realize it's like a 22 horse lawnmower. But it's that smell takes me back. So I'm like, power. And same thing. Yes.
Like
yes.
Tim Allen, right? And
oh yeah.
Home Improvement. Yep. Or whatever he did.
And we're dating ourselves there by showing that's
that's true. Yeah.
So yeah, the last one we're down to that last question, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. So, I'm going to ask it here. Okay, I'm just going to read it verbatim here. So you have to drive, but you get to pick what truck and what it will haul. What would you do, Mr. Troche?
So this is a tough one because, and I mean, I think about how all of them have their own adventure. And it's really tough for me. It kind of came down to two things. And if I got to pick one of them, I'm going to go with, I'd probably locally heavy haul excavators or whatever. I love occasionally getting to play with some of that equipment. And I know a lot of those guys will load and unload and stuff like that. It's local, so you get to know your home area a little bit better. And probably, you know what truck that has to be at that point. That to me, I mean, to me, it's got to be in fact, it's got to be a red W990 because I got to do the modern thing. I got to have the red W990.
Yeah. You're wearing your red shirt. I see.
Right. So that's to me.
The headset's not red.
It was the only one I could find. Otherwise, I would have done it.
Paint, man. Get out the spray paint.
I mean, if you notice behind me, it's a farm-all thing. So that's the part of that too. Cool. But to me, it would probably be like a local excavating company, heavy haul, and give me the biggest piece of equipment I can move around for you. And plus, it's that little bit of a puzzle at the end of the day too. How the hell am I going to tie this thing to the trailer so it doesn't come off?
Yeah, that's.
So. What would it be for you?
Well, for me, I don't know why this is, but like I'm a W9 guy. Like it's pretty evident that that's what it is. I kind of like the old school throwback, and I like shiny stuff. I would probably order a W9L with a 72 flat top, longest wheelbase that I can go with, custom paint, of course, big power 565 or 605 Cummins, might as well 605 Cummins, just go big on everything. What I would hook onto the back would definitely be a tanker. I don't know why. I've always been kind of a tanker. I just like the shiny tanks going down the road. You're behind a truck going, and you got like the tank, and it's all polished, and it comes right to that point, and you can see the lines kind of going on the back of it. I think it exudes cool. I think hauling a tanker just looks cool. I don't know. That's just me. So. And as far as where I would go, like I love going on road trips. Like we last year went on a huge 5,500 kilometer round road trip with our camper all the way from Winnipeg through the US, like down around Chicago, up through Michigan, over into Sarnia, went into Toronto and everything like that. Ottawa is where we ended up. But anyhow, so definitely long haul. I would just love seeing the countryside. I love the mountains in BC. Like that's really neat too. So I definitely want to do long haul tanker. Is what I would choose. So yeah, that's my choice.
I can totally see that. I mean, just to me now, there's one question I've got with that though.
What's that?
You said custom paint. What color?
Oh boy, that's you know what? Probably black. I'm kind of a like I would legendary black, probably with a. I'd really have to think hard about it, and I actually have a really cool paint design that I've come up with that has I don't know if you're familiar with scallops. It's kind of like coming off the hood where they kind of have long stripes kind of going like that. I have this really cool idea. I want to build a truck like that for stock something that we're working on. But anyways, probably legendary black with scallops and just kind of pick some good accent colors in there. I haven't really thought about it, so yeah, but I would definitely go black. All my vehicles that I own are black, so I'd probably just stick with that and keep it black. So yeah. You're a red guy, I'm a black guy. What can I say?
And that's a great color combination. Those two, the red and black together, are my favorite colors. So that we should, if you bring that tanker through where I'm hauling the excavator, we'd have to put the trucks together for a picture.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So when is your truck coming in? When is it coming in off of the factory floor?
I'll have to ask the missus.
Sure.
Just to see what she would say on that one.
Yeah.
I think she would be fine until she saw the price tag.
Yeah. I don't know what a tanker costs, but I don't think that they're going to be cheap.
No, she would probably run to the grocery store and buy me one of the ones out of the toy aisle and be like, "Here it is."
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So, hey, this we will
exactly. There you go.
My you guys, I mean, everyone's seen that wooden truck that I have on my desk at my other office. Obviously, it's not here with me. I do have some tractors and trucks up on a bookshelf.
I like your Stewie in the background there.
Yes, Stewie keeps me in line to make sure that that I don't do anything wrong. That we'll just put it that way. That's so yeah, we will have to do this again.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, it's fun. I think hopefully people out there liked it.
I hope so too.
I mean,
so make sure if you haven't subscribed to Josh's channel, you click that subscribe button and check it out.
And do the same thing on Andy's channel, because obviously, I mean, with the thing that I think is so cool, and I think that to me, why we've got a lot of subscribers in common is we have the same presentation, I guess I would say, in terms of we're both really cool people. No one else made this, but right, we're both really cool people, but yet we talk about stuff differently. We look at it from different perspectives and cover kind of differently. So it's.
What are you talking about? We talk differently.
Hey? What are you talking about? A boot? Hey?
People picked up on that with the centigrade and the kilometers.
Yeah, there you go.
When you said about your trip, I'm like, boy, half of our audiences aren't going to understand how they're like 5,500 kilometers. He's halfway to the moon.
Yeah, it was that far. My wife and I, like halfway through the trip, we look at each other. We're like, what were we thinking? This is so far. But oh well, it was fun. Good memories.
Okay, buddy. Nice chatting with you. Okay, take care. See you. Bye. All right, so there we have it. There was a very casual conversation with my friend Josh down in Ohio. So like I said, if you haven't subscribed to his channel or my channel, we'll have links at the end of the video here. So thanks for coming by. We will see you soon, and we'll be doing truck tours before you know it. Take care and have the world's best day.